Hey, we're back. Sorry for the delay in getting started. I had it all set up and then I realized I didn't have my headphones, so I wouldn't be able to hear the thing. So I had to go scramble to find those. But we're back. Give me 1 second. I'm still trying to I have to get my second screen set up so I don't have to look off to the side the whole time. But thank you all for being here. It's great to be back. Came back from like a 10-day vacation. It was kind of like a family reunion. It's lots of fun. We were up near Sundance in Utah, in the Sundance Ski Resort. Um, if you're looking for a place to vacation with family, I highly recommend it. It's called Aspen Grove. It's run by Brigham Young University, which is my alma mater. But what I love about it is if your family has kids, it's like summer camp for the kids during the day. So my wife and I got a break and I got to hang out with my brothers and sister. So lots of fun. I hope everyone had for those in the United States, I hope you enjoyed the Memorial Day weekend. Sorry, I stutter sometimes. And and for those that are outside of the United States, I just hope you had a great week and a half since we last met. I'm almost got my thing set up here. Today we're going to be listening to episode 35 of Dragnet, Claude Jimmerson, Child Killer. Again, this is one of the last titles that kind of spoils the episode, but that's what it's called. So sneak peek of the story and also the outcome. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think we're set now. I've got my other screen over here and I can monitor comments on this one. Hopefully we're not blurry. Thank you all. I'm glad to see people back in the chat. I was worried of, if we had if we missed too many weeks or if we missed too many streams that people would fill this time with other things or they'd get busy with other stuff and not tune in again. So thank you for being here, Joshua, Life with Roscoe. It's good to see you guys. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods. If you're new here, or if this is your first stream, we're here usually every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. When I'm not on vacation or something, it's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And we are listening to every episode of Dragnet in sequential order. So we're on episode 35 right now. There's 310 episodes currently available. So we're going to be doing this for a while. So if you love old time radio, and especially if you love Dragnet, please mark it on your calendar. We hope to see you here. And let's go back here. And then, yeah, so during the chat, during the stream, we are chatting in the comments. Maybe I should say it that way. During the chat, we're listening to old time radio because that's, I think, the main draw here is the chat and the interaction. At least that's what I enjoy. If you want to participate in the chat and you're not streaming from the OTR Gold YouTube channel, check the descriptions. There'll be a link there, and then you'll be able to chat. We're currently at 5 people, so I feel like we're starting over. We had like 20 something. There's now like 5 people tuning in. But hey, it was fun when it was just the 4 of us. So we'll build back from 0, but this is great. So let's see. Yes, so let me check these comments real quick. Not for children. Yes, this is one of the. I had a note to call this out. In the Encyclopedia of Old Time Radio, John Dunning says how some of these episodes were sorry, this one just made me laugh. That's right. Never go on vacation. That's okay. It's okay. But going back to this, so this is one of the first episodes that I'm aware of that he says this episode is for you and not your children. So Jack Webb, you'll hear him at the very beginning say that, and just letting people know this is a bit heavier than normal, the episode. I'm curious to know what people think at the end. I think the before this one, the heaviest episode was a 22 rifle for Christmas. I, I think that one personally was a bit heavier um, because you felt bad not only for the victim but also the um, the one who fired the gun at the same time. So not to spoil that episode, but if you've been listening, yeah, you feel bad for everyone involved in that situation, and it just gets you down. This one, I felt it's still horrible because kids are involved. Anytime a crime occurs, it's horrible, but it's especially bad when children are involved. But I won't say more than that. Uh, we'll just listen to the episode. So I was given a DVD set of the 50s Dragnet. This being the radio show or the TV show that started in the 50s. I'm curious. Let us know in the comments. For those that do participate in the chat, if it's off topic, those are welcome. We love chatting about off topic things like movie scores and foods. If there was a Dragnet cafe, what food would be in there? If it's relevant to the episode or anything that's happening, I'll highlight it on down below, like I just did. Roscoe got the TV Dragnet set. So that also reminds me, I wanted to say I need to chat I need to chat with my wife, and either Friday or Saturday, I want to do the Dragnet double feature that I was talking about, where we'll listen to an episode of Dragnet, like the radio show, and then we will look at the adaptation of that episode that was made for the television series that started, in the 1950s. So I need to figure out which episode I want to feature, but that'll be on Friday. And according to my YouTube analytics, most people are tuning in and listening to content on my channel around 6 p.m. Pacific. So between 5 or 6 is when I want to start that. So it'll be kind of an evening thing. But as soon as I have the date locked down, I'll put that on the I'll post the thing so you can see that, like, when the live stream will start. And if you can join live, great. If you can't join live, just be sure to catch the replay. And if you like that, please add a comment so I know that this is content that you enjoy, and we'll do more of them. Yes. When the Dragnet Cafe exists in an old time radio world, we will no kids will be harmed. They'll eat free in the Dragnet Cafe. Jack Webb likes kids in the purest way. Thomas, I haven't seen him yet. Hopefully we get him back. Maybe he's doing some puzzles right now. Okay. Well, that's enough. We will get started. Enjoy the show. Again, this is episode 35, Claude Jimmerson, Child Killer. And we'll chat after. Hello and welcome to Dragnet from OTRGold.com. This episode will begin after a brief message from our sponsors.
Ladies and gentlemen, this program is for you, not your children. The subject is of vital importance to you as parents. This is the story of a vicious man.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. 2 small girls are reported missing. Somewhere between their homes and the neighborhood grocery store, they dropped from sight. Your job, find them.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, if you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, October 27th. It was cloudy in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. We were on the way out from Central Division. It was 16 minutes past 8 p.m. when we got to South Peoria Street. Number 267.
Sure gloomy out.
Yeah, it's sultry.
Looks like we're in for some rain.
Yes, sir?
Police officers. Is Lieutenant Barker here?
Yes, you want to come in?
Thank you.
This is Sergeant Romero. I'm Sergeant Friday, Central Homicide.
How are you? My name's Claude Jimmerson. Lieutenant Barker's in here, on the phone now.
Hi, Captain. Yeah, I'll let you know. Yeah, Romero, Friday.
How's it going, Lieutenant?
Not good. You met Mr. Jimmerson?
Oh, sure. Sit down, gentlemen. Would you like some coffee? I can have the
No,
wife make
thanks.
some.
No, thank you.
We didn't
very
want to
much.
bother the girl's parents any more than we had to. Jimmerson here is one of the neighbors. He's been nice enough to let us use his phone.
The kids disappeared about 4 this afternoon, is that right?
At 3:45. Got out a local broadcast on him. Here's a missing report.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Thelma Griswold, age 11. Barbara Sperry, 7-year-old. You talked to both families.
Yeah. At 3:30 this afternoon, Mrs. Griswold sent her daughter to the grocery store down on Sycamore Avenue. It's about 10 blocks from their home. The Sperry girl, a friend of hers, she went with her.
Anybody at the store remember seeing him?
According to the grocery clerk, they were there about 3:45. Mother gave the kids a note. They bought a loaf of white bread, a half pound of bacon, a dozen oranges.
Yeah.
That's right, Sergeant. I hope nothing's happened to the kids. We've been neighbors to the Griswolds for years. Sperry's, too.
Did you notice if the little girls were going in the direction of their home?
Yes, they were. The last time I saw them, they were about a block away, heading straight for home. Little Sperry girl had a dog with her. Champ, I think they call him. He's a collie.
And he's missing, too.
That's right, Joe. Not a trace of the kids or the dog. Juvenile officers from 77th Street have been checking the neighborhood for the past 3 hours.
Are the girls in the habit of wandering off like this?
Parents say no. It's the first time.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks very much, Mr. Jimmerson.
Well, not at all, Sergeant. Sure you won't have a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. We don't like to bother you, but we may have to check back with you later tonight. Routine questions.
If I can help out in any way to find those girls, let me know.
Yeah, we'll let you know, Jim. Thanks again.
Nice fellow.
Yeah, most of the neighbors we've talked to have been the same, anxious to help. Some of them are out with our juvenile officers now, trying to dig up a lead on the kids.
You checked the movie theater and the playgrounds in the neighborhood.
Everything, Joe.
Those some of your men from Juvenile, Lieutenant?
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, Schwartz and Preston.
Lieutenant,
Yeah, Preston, what you got?
found the kid's dog, the collie,
Where?
just above Sanchez Drive up in the hills. Hope it's no indication.
How do you mean?
Dog's dead.
The collie dog was taken to a veterinarian on Jefferson Boulevard to be examined for cause of death. We put in a call to the office, and a special detail of men was assigned to aid in searching the area where the dog was discovered. We got out an all-points bulletin. The fathers of the missing girls and a dozen neighbors joined in the search. With the aid of flashlights, we started from the end of Sanchez Drive, and as best we could, we covered the ground for almost a full mile back into the Sunset Hills. 10:55 p.m. It started to thunder. The search went on. The hilly terrain and thick patches of scrub oak didn't make the job any easier. 11:15 p.m. It started to rain.
Watch your step, Joe. The rocks are slippery.
Yeah. I can't figure it. Not a sign.
What do you think?
I don't know. Wait a minute. Flash your light over here. No, here.
See something?
I thought I did. Yeah. Scrap of brown paper.
Who's this coming?
Sergeant, is that you?
Oh, Jimmerson? Yeah, what's that you got?
I found it right down there, just off the path.
Paper sack.
Look.
Loaf of bread, a few oranges, package of bacon.
Where'd you find it?
Right down there, Mr. Holmquist and me, we were heading back for the cars when I saw this bag lying to one side of the bush.
We'll take it, Jimmerson. Thanks. Let's go, man.
That means that Barbara and Thelma were up here today.
You haven't mentioned that to either one of the girls' fathers.
No, I haven't.
Good. They're having a hard enough time as it is.
Friday, Ben, see him for a minute?
Yeah. Excuse us, Mr. Jimmerson.
Certainly. Yeah? Schwartz and I checked with the vet who examined the dog.
What'd he say?
Says the dog was beaten to death.
We made another attempt to continue the search of the Sunset Hills area for the 2 missing girls, but the heavy rain and the darkness made the job impossible. The rain had also destroyed the physical evidence at the spot where we had found the grocery bag. We went back to Jimmerson's house and called the office again. Another detail of men was assigned to be on hand to help in the search when it resumed at daylight. Chief of Detectives Thad Brown and Captain Harry Elliott of Homicide were notified of late developments. At 25 minutes past midnight, we started to retrace the steps of the 2 missing girls from the time they left their homes at 3:30 the afternoon before. We covered every foot of ground along the route which the girls reportedly took on their way to the grocery store. We got the grocery clerk out of bed and interviewed him again. We talked with 2 elderly ladies in the neighborhood who said that they had seen the missing children between 3 and 4 p.m. the previous afternoon. They could add nothing to what Jimmerson had already told us. 3:30 a.m. It was still raining hard. We drove back to South Peoria Street and sat in the car. The lights were still burning in the homes of the missing youngsters, the Griswolds and the Sperrys. Jimmerson asked us in for coffee again. This time we accepted. We went in and sat around the kitchen table. Glenn Chandler and Stendhal from Homicide, Lieutenant Barker, Ben, and myself. Jimmerson's wife made the coffee. There wasn't much talking.
You want more coffee?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Miss Jimmerson. Thank you.
You want some more?
No, thanks. It's fine.
You want some more coffee?
You got enough there?
Sure, Lieutenant. Plenty. Go ahead. Fill the sugar bowl, will you, Amy? Empty.
There isn't any more. You never do things right. I told you to get some at the store today.
You told me?
Yeah, that's all right, Jimmerson. Never use it anyway. Thanks.
Never do anything right.
All right, Amy, go to bed. She's a little upset. Not feeling too well.
Well, I guess we better be going, Jimmerson. Thanks.
No, that's all right, Sergeant. She didn't mean you. It's this whole thing, I guess, got everybody on edge.
There's still a chance they may be all right.
How do we explain the bag of groceries we found back in the hills and the dog?
If anybody's hurt those kids, we'll take care of him right here in this neighborhood. He'll get what's coming to him.
Somebody at your back door.
Oh, yes, I'll be.
Sergeant Friday here?
Yes, he's here. Come on in. Sergeant.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
What do you got?
Mr. Griswold, Joe. Says he'd like to have you come over and talk to him. Figures it'll make his wife feel better, all broken up.
Sure. Come on, Ben. We'll be over at the Griswolds, Lieutenant.
All right.
Thank you for the coffee, Jimmerson.
Not at all. If you get a chance, tell Griswold how sorry everybody is. We'll help all we can.
Sure.
Bad night.
Yeah. Did you check by the Sperry's house, Tom?
Mm-hmm. Mother's trying to get a little sleep. Father's still sitting up. There he is, by the window.
Yeah.
This is the Griswold home.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah. They're going to ask questions. What are we going to tell them?
I don't know.
They could be all right. Kids do funny things sometimes.
Maybe, but they don't murder their pet dog. Like a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, the police officer comes to realize that there's only so much that can be learned from his books. Time and experience make up the rest. The police manual contains no stock answers for the grieving wife who has just lost a husband in an auto accident. No firm but polite reply to the belligerent motorist handed a traffic tag. No words of reassurance for distraught parents of missing girls, ages 11 and 7. Whether it's trapping criminals or comforting parents, you find the right answer the hard way. There isn't any other way. We sat and talked with the Griswolds for a full hour. We didn't tell them about the dog or the bag of groceries. Until the fate of the 2 little girls was definitely decided, we figured giving them the information would serve no purpose except to add to their worries. 5 minutes past 5 a.m. Almost a full hour until daylight. It was still raining.
George, maybe the officers would like some breakfast before they leave.
No, thank you kindly, Miss Griswold. We had some sandwiches about an hour ago.
Sure I can't fix you something? It's no trouble.
No, sir. Thanks anyway.
Terrible night. Rain.
Now, Helen, just a little while longer. We'll find the girls. It'll be daylight soon.
Mrs. Griswold, some of your neighbors tell us that there were 2 strangers here in the neighborhood this afternoon.
Yes, but that was earlier. Mrs. Nelson next door and I were talking about it. One was a gardener looking for work. The other one was selling books.
What time were they around, ma'am?
Book salesman was here about noon. The gardener about 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. How is your daughter about strangers? Does she make friends easily?
No, not at all. Thelma's very careful about that. She'd never go with a stranger, I'm sure of it.
Why do you ask that question, Sergeant? Have you found out something?
No, sir. No, we haven't. It's just a routine check, that's all.
Can't understand it. The girls. Out in all this rain, something must have happened, I know.
Now, Helen, you've been doing fine. Don't let down now.
Joe, Chief Brown's car just pulled up outside.
Thanks, Tom. Ben?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Griswold, Miss Griswold.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Here, let me show you the door.
We'll meet at the end of Sanchez Drive, Mr. Griswold, about 6 a.m. It should be light enough by then.
Oh, all right. Oh, Sergeant, there is a chance, isn't there? The girls are all right.
There's a good chance. You try not to worry. Come on, Ben. Practice. Tom, you want to check with Barker again and see if any of his men have a line on the 2 men here in the neighborhood yet?
Right.
If you want us, we'll be in Thad Brown's car.
All right, Sergeant.
What time you got, Joe?
20 to 6. It's getting light now.
Yeah. Let's get out of this rain.
Gentlemen, you look a little wet.
I could stand a dry pair of shoes.
Still no trace of the kids?
You heard about the dog and the bag of groceries?
Yeah. Nothing else since then?
No. It'll be light in a couple of minutes, and we can start searching the hills again.
I ordered up another detail of men to help. They're parked up on Sanchez Drive. Captain Elliott's with them.
Good. We can use all the help we can get. That's rough terrain. There's a lot of ground to cover up there.
Guess you talked to everybody in the neighborhood.
Yeah, parents, too.
They help you much?
Well, they told us there were 2 strangers in the neighborhood before the girls disappeared. We're having them checked out.
Yeah.
Griswold thinks the kids would be safe on that count. Says his daughter's afraid of strangers, never goes near them.
Mm-hmm. How much area did you cover in the hills last night?
About a full mile, would you say, Ben? Starting from Sanchez Drive, straight back into the brush.
It wasn't too thorough. Not enough men, not enough light.
You got plenty of both right now.
10 minutes past 6 a.m., Tuesday, October 28th. The search of the Sunset Hills area was resumed. 150 officers spread out over a 2-square-mile area with orders to probe every foot of ground. With them were almost 50 volunteers from the neighborhood. The rain settled to a cold, steady downpour. The mud was ankle-deep. 8:30 a.m., no sign of the missing youngsters. 10:30, still no sign. The search went on. A neighborhood restaurant owner sent out 5-gallon jugs of hot coffee for members of the searching party. After 6 continuous hours combing the hill, still no results. Chief Brown, Ben, and I went to the car for a cup of coffee and a cigarette.
It's got me beat. Those kids wandered off. They had to come in this direction.
Well, they couldn't have headed toward town. Somebody would have noticed them, sure.
Yeah. No leads at all on that APV you sent out?
2. They both fizzled.
The youngsters up in those hills someplace. Gotta be. You 2 ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Sure doesn't figure. 2 square miles. We've been over it twice.
And go over it again. Find them.
Thelma Griswold, age 11. Barbara Sperry, age 7. Tuesday, October 28th, 2 p.m. They were still missing. Another detail of men from Metropolitan Division were dispatched to aid in the hunt. The daily newspapers played the story across the front page. Wire services bulletined the news across the country. Radio newscasters covered the story at the scene. On South Peoria Street, the 2 mothers sat in their homes and waited. The search went on. It stopped raining.
Did you cover that patch of underbrush over there, Joe?
Yeah. Watch it.
Yeah. It's hard.
Oh, yeah. Let's swing up this way.
Right.
Anything?
No, nothing.
All right, come on. Almost 2:30.
Yeah. Too much coffee, sour stomach.
Me too. You got a cigarette? I'm out.
Oh, here.
Thanks.
Friday! Romero! Come on down!
Preston, what do you got? What is it?
They found him! They found the kid!
Come on. Watch it, Ben. Bad spot here.
Yeah, it's slippery.
Thelma Griswold had brown hair and brown eyes, about 4 feet 6 inches tall. She had a bunch of wildflowers in her hands. Barbara Sperry had blonde hair and blue eyes. She held a bunch of wildflowers, too.
Friday?
Chief? Who found them?
Jimmerson, some of the neighbors.
Right.
Dear God.
Preston,
Yes, sir?
get something, cover him up.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yeah.
I've been a cop 32 years and never seen anything like that. I hope I never do again.
Must have been a maniac. Had to be.
The law is kind, depraved.
Anybody call the crime lab?
Yeah, the area's been cleared.
Family's been notified?
Not yet. I'll have to tell them. Do you want to come along?
No, that wouldn't be any good.
2 lives. What can you say?
Whoever did it ran up a big bill.
They're going to pay it.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. Now listen to these authentic reports about Fatima cigarettes.
Sales reports show that Fatima has more than doubled its smokers from coast to coast.
Smokers' reports give the actual reason for this astonishing gain.
Hear what Mr. W.B. Williams of New York has to say about Fatima.
I like its even mildness, no irritation. There's something about the taste of Fatima that doesn't seem to be in any other cigarette.
In the words of Miss Marie Blacker of Chicago,
my friends are switching to Fatima, too. It's much the best of long cigarettes.
listen to this statement by Miss Cecilia Marr of Los Angeles.
I like Fatima best. It's so mild and has a wonderful flavor.
Yes, from all reports, Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
5 minutes after the bodies were discovered, the hunt for the psychopathic killer was underway. Lee Jones and his crew from the crime lab arrived and took pictures of everything that could possibly have a bearing on the crime. Physical evidence was hard to find. The heavy rain had destroyed any possible chance there might have been of finding footprints. When the crew from the crime lab was finished, the coroner arrived and took the bodies to the county morgue for autopsy. An immediate roundup of all known sexual psychopaths in the area was ordered. They were taken into homicide for questioning. So were the people from the South Peoria Street neighborhood whom we had talked with previously. The questioning went on all through the night. Together with a half a dozen officers from homicide detail, we narrowed down the field. Wednesday, October 29th, 7 a.m. We checked in with Chief of Detectives Thad Brown.
Gentlemen, you must be tired.
Got a few hours sleep last night. Could use a few more.
Sorry, we have to keep moving on this.
Did you see the papers this morning?
Yeah, they're like everybody else, crying too late. Someday people are going to learn you don't fool with these degenerates. You take precautions or you get the consequences. There's no in between.
There's usual talk going around town. It's supposed to be all our fault, letting the psychos run loose.
No, we don't make the laws, we enforce them. Until we get something to work with, laws with teeth in them, these atrocities are going to go on.
Nobody seems to care. We pick them up, they serve a few days, pay a fine, and they waltz out of here. Nobody cares.
Sure, pity them, don't cure them. Nature played a trick on them. Feel sorry for them until they kill a kid. It's not a firm law to cover them as they are. We have to wait till they murder somebody.
We got a better law for mad dogs. We don't let them run loose till they bite somebody.
Those 2 little girls ought to prove something. How are the parents making out?
What you might expect. Shocked, hysterics. Excuse me. Brown speaking. Who? Send him in. Chandler, they finished questioning that bunch we brought in yesterday.
Oh, Chief. Ben, Joe?
How many possibles, Glenn?
None. 4 we had left established airtight alibis. We checked their registrations, gave them their releases.
Where does that leave us?
We start from scratch.
I don't think so, Chief.
You got a hunch?
A little better than that, Joe. I'm sold.
What do you mean?
You said the parents told you the little girls were afraid of strangers, wouldn't go near them.
Yeah, that's right.
They got the same reactions from some of the neighbors we talked to day before yesterday.
Yeah?
Now we find out that all the known psychos in the area are clear, perfect alibis.
When you figure the killer couldn't have been a stranger to the little girls.
That's right. There were only 2 strangers in the whole neighborhood the day the girls disappeared, the gardener and the salesman, and both of them have been checked and cleared.
Mm-hmm.
As far as we know, the little girls wouldn't have gone that far up in the hills alone of their own accord, and they wouldn't have gone with a stranger. They had to be lured there and by someone they knew.
Any ideas?
Could have been one of the neighbors.
No, we checked every possible out there, Glenn. We questioned them a half a dozen times.
So have I. There's one that might fit.
Who's that?
Claude Jimmerson.
Glenn Chandler had been a veteran homicide officer before Ben or I joined the department. He was tall, quiet, and reserved. He had a good reason for everything he did, for everything he thought. The three of us sat down and tried to put the pieces together. Number one, Chandler uncovered a point that Ben and I had missed completely. Jimmerson and his wife were not close friends of either the Sperry family or the Griswolds. For a near stranger, he showed an extraordinary interest in the welfare of the children after they disappeared. Number two, Ben and I discovered that Jimmerson's wife had an 8-year-old boy by a previous marriage. The child did not live with them. Mrs. Jimmerson told Chandler that her husband had been cruel to the boy. She refused to elaborate. Number three, Jimmerson was the last person to see the children alive. Number four, the bodies of the children had been well hidden in the underbrush. Jimmerson found them. Number five, Jimmerson had bent over backwards to make friends with the investigating officers right from the start. As any veteran officer can tell you, that's not the usual attitude. At 8:30 a.m., Chandler, Ben, and I left the office. We spent the day digging back 15 years into Jimmerson's life. We got back to the office just after midnight. Thursday, October 30th, 10 a.m. We checked in.
Okay, Joe, all ready.
Thanks. Come on, Ben.
Yeah.
Morning, Mr. Jimmerson.
Oh, how are you, Sergeant? Glad to see you. Sit down. Sorry to bother you again. Not at all. Glad to help. Anything new turn up?
Did you kill those two little girls?
That's a funny thing to ask. Of course not. You know that.
We ask everybody the same thing. Hope you're not offended.
Oh, you kind of surprised me. I didn't know. Did you kill those little girls? I don't understand. I told you no. Of course not.
It's a stock question. Routine. Did you kill them?
Now, look, Sergeant, how many times do I have to tell you no?
Sorry. You don't have any children, do you?
No, we don't.
No stepchildren?
No. Why?
Before you moved out to South Peoria Street, you and the wife lived out in West L.A., didn't you? Kelton Avenue?
Well, yes. How'd you know?
You recall a Mary Gibbs out there?
Gibbs? No.
6-year-old girl. You were charged with molesting her. That was back in 1944.
They were crazy. They never proved it.
Before Kelton Avenue, you lived in Santa Monica on 10th Street. Is that right?
Yes.
It was an 8-year-old girl. Donna Honrath?
That kid lied, too. She asked me to fix her doll buggy. I never went near her.
What about your stepson? Why isn't he living with you? Why did your wife send him to live with her sister?
Amy's crazy. I never harmed the boy. We didn't get along, that's all. He got on my nerves.
You've had 4 jobs in the past 5 years. What were they?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You were a janitor at a grammar school down the south end of town, then a gardener at a children's playground. Then you were a shoe salesman, children's shoes. Then you worked at another grammar school.
What does all this mean, anyway? What are you getting at?
Have you ever been in jail?
Once. 6 months. There was some trouble.
What kind of trouble?
I didn't know what I was doing. I was drinking. I didn't mean to bother the kid. Well?
That's all, Jimmerson. Routine questioning. You can go now.
Oh, thanks. I hope you haven't got the wrong idea about me. I like children, that's all.
Sure. Thanks for coming in.
Well, not at all, Sergeant. Anything I can do to help. Well, goodbye.
Say, Jimmerson, I almost forgot. There is one thing.
Oh?
Since you're the one who found the little girls, we'll have to have you identify the bodies.
It won't take long. Morgue's just across the street, up the bluff.
Well, I'd like to help you, but I got an appointment.
All you have to do is look at them. Won't take you long. Come on, let's go.
I'd like to help, Sergeant, but I don't take these things well. I get sick.
We'll make it fast. Out this way.
Raining again.
I'm sorry, Sergeant. I don't think I better go.
Just identify them, that's all. Won't take a minute.
Maybe if we had a drink before we went in.
You can have one after.
And watch it. There's heavy traffic.
Yeah, lights change. We'll have to wait.
I need a drink. I can't go in that place without a drink.
You'll be all right. Okay, let's go. Morgue's up this way.
I can't look at him. I get sick. Don't make me.
Nothing to it. You'll see.
Here we are. We went down the driveway. It's a shortcut.
This way.
Hi, Joe. Can I help you?
Yeah, Archie. Those little girls. Thelma Griswold. Barbara Sperry.
Oh, yeah. This way.
Please.
Right here, Joe. Yeah, Thelma Griswold.
Uncover. Jimmerson?
Yeah. Thelma.
This one?
Barbara. Little one.
You killed him, didn't you?
The dog jumped at me. She started to yell. Put my hand over her mouth. Then the other kid. I hit them. Too hard. They cried.
Joe?
That's all.
All right. Huh?
Let's go.
It wasn't my fault. I like kids. I didn't understand.
Neither do I, mister. Come on.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On March 18th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here's the actual report.
From coast to coast, Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
They find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. Best of all long cigarettes. Claude Willis Jimmerson was tried and convicted of murder in the first degree. On April 23rd at 10 a.m., he was executed in the lethal gas chamber at the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton.
You're tuned for the stars on NBC.
All right. That's it for that one. The very next episode, so Friday, we're going to be listening to episode 36, The Big Girl. That's what it's called. I like these this naming convention because other than it being related to some girl, I have no idea what the story holds. So we're going to listen to that on Friday. As I mentioned in the comments right at the beginning, I skipped over the historical context. So the episode we just heard was originally aired on Thursday, February 2nd, 1950. And since the last episode was broadcast on January 19th, the following events took place. So January 21st, 1950, British author George Orwell, the author of Animal Farm and 1984, among others, died at age 46. January 24th, Jackie Robinson signed the highest contract in Dodger history. I was going to look this up. He signed for $35,000. Let's say 35,000 USD in 1950. What's that worth today? Any guesses? $455,000. That's according to in2013dollars.com. So that's a lot of money, but also crazy. I think like some of the big people, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, they are making crazy money right now. The contracts keep getting bigger, but good for Jackie Robinson. January 26th, the Constitution of Independent India came into effect. I think I'm saying this correctly, but Rahendra Prasad was elected India's first president. January 31st, U.S. President Harry Truman publicly announced his support for the development of a hydrogen bomb. February 1st, Green Bay Packer founder, player, and coach Curly Lambeau resigns after 31 seasons and 6 NFL titles to his credit. So I presume he's why Lambeau Field is called Lambeau Field. February 1st, the USSR demands condemnation of Emperor Hirohito for war crimes. And then that same day, Rich Williams, the guitarist for Kansas, the band that sings, that created Carry On My Wayward Son, was born in Topeka, Kansas. So that's what was happening at when this episode was broadcast. I always find that interesting. Let's go back here, see if we got any relevant comments right here at the end. Heard the sound of cuffs being snapped on. That's good too. Yeah, good to hear when criminals get their comeuppance, when they're held accountable. It's great. Thank you, Lee, for the well wishes as always. We wish you a great day as well. Again, we'll be back on Friday at 9 a.m. And then keep an eye out for another extra live stream. Sometimes this weekend, it'll be likely in the evening. We will do a double header or a double feature. I guess if it's a baseball term, it's a double header. If it's a movie or media thing, it's a double feature. So we'll be doing a double feature. If you have any recommendations for the radio episode and TV adaptation to do, just leave them in the comment of this video, please. And if you enjoyed today's live stream, please give it a like. It helps us reach a new audience. And our numbers will grow. We're almost at 3,000, and then we have another radio giveaway at 4. So I'm waiting to hear back from Keltoid, who won. He has contacted me, but he said he wanted the green one. That's all he said. And I have 2 green ones here. So I've been trying to figure out, do you want the forest green or the mint green? You got to tell me and I'll send it to you. For those that haven't seen this yet, these are vintage style Bluetooth radios that'll connect to your phone and you can stream whatever you want through it, music or old time radio. They look great on your desk. They're USB-C rechargeable. It's fun. So one of these is going to be going to Keltoid. You just got to tell me. And then we have 2 others. We have another cream and pink color radio that we'll be doing another giveaway at 4,000. So 4,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'm just leaning over here, so I'm off the side of the screen. Please subscribe. Help us grow, reach a new audience. And thanks to everyone who tunes in. It's a fun time. I enjoy it. It's one of the highlights of my week. So thank you for making this fun and sharing your love of old time radio with all of us. Let's see here. Oh, Big Juvenile Division. I think Roscoe just gave a recommendation for that. I'll look into that. Maybe that's when we start. Peggy Weber was in both. So Peggy Weber and obviously Jack Webb is in both, right? Because he is Joe Friday in both adaptations. So we will, yeah, let's do that. If I can get a hold of the audio and the TV versions of it, if I can find the TV version on YouTube, then that's what we will do. So stay tuned for that. We'll listen to and watch Big Juvenile Division sometime this weekend. Thank you all for being here. I wish you all a happy Wednesday and hope to see you Friday at 9 a.m.